Hi, my name is Kirsten MANTHEI, and welcome to Interpersonal Communication. So, I'm just going to walk you through some basic information about our class. And now you're kind of seeing what your kids see when they're in my class. And so, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about myself. And then I'm going to explain a bit about the class, and that's what I'm going to do. So, just to give you some background information about myself, as I said, my name is Kirsten MANTHEI, and I went to Ball State University, which is in Indiana. An interesting fact about me is that I had big dreams when I went to college of being a famous actress, and that's why I chose Ball State for their remarkable theater program. And about junior year, I changed my mind because I decided that acting was amazing, but I really wanted a job. And so I switched to speech theater education. So I'm not actually an English teacher in the sense that I do not have a degree in English. And I came to LT because of this class, because of interpersonal communication. So I came to LT 16 years ago when this class was created. And I am incredibly passionate about communication. In fact, if you spoke to my husband and children, they would probably say I'm a little too passionate about it. And actually, I went to Northeastern Illinois University for my first master's, and my master's is in communication, media, and theater. And I went there while I was teaching at LT because I really wanted to sharpen my knowledge and my skills in teaching this course. So, as I said, I'm very, very passionate about this course, and it really is, I think, the best class that we have at LT. Um, as you can see on the screen, I just started my second master's. I started it in May because during the quarantine, I figured I had some extra time. So I'm getting my second master's at Ball State again, and that's in educational tech. As I said to you, I have been at LT for 16 years. I teach IPC. I also teach at North Campus. I teach a senior English class called The Literature of Comedy, and then I direct one of the plays here at LT. So I've got a lot going on. I do live locally. My family and I live in Brookfield. So I'm very invested in LT. My kids will go here. He's in eighth grade now, so he'll be here in 1 year. So this is my family. I won't talk too much about them, but your kids have heard a lot about them already, probably more than I should talk about my poor 13-year-old. I'm really trying not to talk about him because I I know I embarrassed the heck out of him. But this is my husband, and then, like I said, my two kids who are 13 and 10. And yeah, my kids are very, very much embarrassed by me. So let's talk a little bit about the class, about IPC. Now, IPC, as you know, or probably know, it is a requirement for all sophomores. And as I said, it's just a remarkable course. There are not many schools in the state of Illinois that require a communication course because this is not a speech class. And you can see on the screen, there are 4 main units that we will cover this semester. So really our goal in this class is to focus on what makes an effective communicator. And that's a lot to try to cram into a semester. And I really try to do my best to cover all aspects of that. So right now we're focusing on what is communication. We've been talking about speaking and listening, and right now nonverbal. And starting next week, we're going to jump right into public speaking. So your kids will come home talking about giving speeches. We'll cover everything from conflict resolution. We'll talk about perception and culture, how we perceive ourselves and others, how that impacts the way we interact. And then lastly, how we communicate with the media and the messages we send and receive. So a lot of really valuable information for 15 and 16-year-olds. So the types of assignments that we'll be doing, and you can see many of these assignments have to be modified for remote learning. I was just saying to the class today that it is tricky to teach this class online. It really, really is. And every day I'm tweaking things. So we are journaling. We're doing a lot of discussion in breakout rooms. They will be presenting speeches. We're going to use an app called Flipgrid where they'll be videotaping themselves on their phones, submitting them, and we'll be kind of modifying how we give each other feedback. We will be using the cameras. And I've explained to the students we'll be using cameras all the time because it's a communication class. We will be doing a lot with discussion. We're working our way up to that slowly. And I have to say that this class is really doing a great job of getting more comfortable with each other and interacting. There is writing in the class. We don't read any novels, but we'll be doing a lot of analyzing ourselves, and how we communicate. Right now we're analyzing like clips and written communication. And then one of the other things that we'll be doing is collaborative experiences for that unit. And we're going to modify some of those and do some of that in breakout rooms. Some of that will be in like written discussion groups on Canvas. So the IPC team is being really creative in terms of how to modify these experiences. But honestly, the flip side of it is teaching about communication remotely really is a phenomenal experience because communication is changing right now all around us. So there is that side of it. So grading procedures for the class are very similar to the grading procedures for really every other class. Most of the work that we're doing is what's known as formative, which means practice. So vocabulary and reading checks, writing, revising their writing, and largely practicing with the skills, whether that's speaking skills or discussion skills or collaborative skills. That's all formative. And those grades will go in the computer as placeholders, but they don't count towards their final grade. What counts are the larger summative grades. So for example, like a test grade or a speech grade or a written analysis grade. I do allow revision on all assignments, and I'm pretty flexible with late work. So that's something the students are aware of. One of the most important things with our class, especially with remote learning, is Canvas. Everything is on Canvas. And it's important to know that I put the daily slides for every lesson. So if someone is absent, if they even just kind of zone out, they can go to Canvas. I put notes. Students can take notes in their journal, or they can go to Canvas and print out the notes or pull them up and type on the Google Doc. I put all assignments. I try to put audio versions of anything that I'm able to. Our text doesn't necessarily have an audio version, but if I'm able to supply audio versions of activities. And then the last thing to say is my email address. It's on Canvas. Feel free to shoot me an email. And I'm also going to email all the parents a Google form. Please fill it out and send it back to me. It's going to have some questions about your children, and I'd love to hear back from you so I can better get to know the kids and make sure that all of their needs are being met. But thank you very much, and it's great to get to know everyone.